What's up? Welcome. I just realized I made a tactical error with how I arranged my screens, but since we hit live, we're going to have to roll with it. But we are back. I haven't streamed in like a month, and that include like that's obviously primarily Twitch, right? Like, who's even looking at this channel anymore? But you know what? I get the itch every now and then, and sometimes I come back and sometimes I do a stream. I'll be honest, the biggest motivation for this was that someone asked for a stream. Gary, this goes out to you. Whether you see this on replay or not, I don't know. How long the stream goes, I also don't know. So originally I was planning that this particular stream would cover two things. Things I've tweeted about recently. One of those things is to turn that music up a little bit. But one of those things, let's turn it up a little bit more actually. One of those, down a little bit more. One of those things is a ridiculous top 10 anime list from IGN. Like, clearly we need to deal with this. We need to actually address this because it is one of the worst lists I've ever seen. Fucking IGN. And I was also going to do a debate review. So this is something I've been considering, debate reviews of content where people are having discussions because, one, I'm incapable of organizing myself or others into having debates myself. The last thing I streamed on YouTube was actually on Atheist Edge, which was a discussion with Heavier, and that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that, and honestly, I would like to do that stuff more, but I find that my time zone and working a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 job really kind of scuttles that. Like, that discussion, as fun as it was, took quite a lot of organization to get to that point. I think there was a couple of weeks of trying to get time zones to sort of mesh together, and in the end, the only way, or not the only way, but in the end, the easiest way for that to work was I actually had a Monday off that I'd taken off for, I forget why I took it off. I think I was going away that weekend. Yeah, I was going away that weekend, and typically if I'm away on a Saturday, Sunday, I'll try to take Friday, Monday off from work because I'm very lazy. I like to do that sort of stuff. And yeah, so that was how that worked. And like, unfortunately, that's just very difficult to make work long term. But anyway, you know, if anyone sees this and ever wants to talk or chat or disagree or anything, I'm always open to that. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case in platforms that I've been on in the past where disagreements weren't welcome. But you know, I think it's fantastic. And there's been a couple of things I've watched recently where I thought, you know what, it would be good to go over these things in stream because I think they're worth having those discussions looked into with a little bit more detail. Not because the participants necessarily are doing a bad job. In fact, the one that I was thinking of going over today, but I just saw how long it actually was. But it's not because the participants do bad. So, for example, the one I'm thinking of at the moment, I tweeted it out in the last week or so. Libertarians are silly, and that was a response to a debate between Sam Cedar on the Majority Report, and he had some libertarian guy. I don't know that person in terms of whether they're a creator or just a debate bro or whatever, and they talked about or debated the merits of libertarianism, particularly around student debt relief, was sort of the main fulcrum that discussion was sort of being turned around. And like, it was just funny. And look, Sam Cedar did an excellent job to sort of dismantle some of the internal inconsistencies with sort of the libertarian views of individualism versus government and collective action to improve everyone's lives overall. But the nature of a debate obviously is he's dealing with what's in front of him, but there are sort of lots of things happening in the periphery of that discussion that I think are worth teasing out a little bit. And that's stuff that, you know, maybe we'll try a few of those and we'll see how they go and whether they add any value to my channel and to people that might be watching. But today, you're not here for that today. Today, you're here for whatever I'm doing today, which actually maybe you're here for that. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll go over that and see how it goes. Maybe I won't. We'll see how it goes. So the tactical error I have made today is that I have my screen swapped around because I'm an idiot. So where does that go? That goes to a video game. Where does that go? Swapped around. All right, let's fix it. Can't fix it in post because we're live. I need to learn how to use producer mode in this. I'm pretty sure there's nothing sensitive up there. It's fine. Display capture. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. 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 Get rid of that useless YouTube chat. Also, one of the biggest hurdles that I still have to overcome with YouTube is the lack of adjustable chat options for low vision. If anyone has any ideas for how I can manage my chat from a distance and have sort of very, very robust control over the size and the type of the fonts, would love you forever. Because at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm enlarging the zoom on the web browser to magnify, but the UI UX of websites, when you zoom to that level, it just doesn't work. If I actually, so this is the window that I'm dealing with, and as you can see, like the text box here is taking up like 30% of the screen. This is taking up another 6% of the screen. Like almost half of it is lost because it's magnifying even the things that aren't useful. I just want text to be big, but I want the space to remain. Really frustrating. Really frustrating. Because on Twitch I've got that control. But anyway, I've had this discussion a few times. So IGN. Wait. We need to go back here in case we decide to cut this down to a video. All right, so hello. Today we're going to be talking about one of the worst anime lists I have ever seen in my gosh darn life. Holy shit, that was a very PG way of saying. Should I be swearing less on YouTube? Is that bad for the algorithm? I don't know. Let's try swearing a little bit less. I already said shit, but we won't do the F-bomb, and we'll try and avoid the C-bomb. At least we'll see how we go, because this list. So I saw a tweet, and to be fair, it was not a tweet that was recent. The retweet that was addressing it was fairly new, of someone that sort of brought to my attention the fact that IGN had done an anime ranking. And of course they do. They do video games and nerd culture and all that sort of stuff. I don't know anyone who reads IGN. I actually don't know where they fit in the media landscape in terms of like people who enjoy their content. I am suspicious that their business model revolves around making people angry enough to click on their sites so they can disagree more vehemently with their proposals. But hey, I'm just feeding into that if that's the case. So who's the bigger fool now, IGN? Anyway, it really cemented into me. It really cemented for me the fact that anime culture has really, really progressed away from my comfort zone. And my comfort zone is like being there from arguably the start of anime. Yes, that's right, children, sit down. Your OG-san is going to talk a little bit because I actually remember not the obvious first airings, but when I was a kid, one of the reruns that they would play on TV during children's television times, which were a thing before streaming, Black and White Astro Boy. Before the first remake was still in like the 80s, but like they actually played some of the stuff from the 60s. Like, because when I was growing up, like we got shows from all fucking. We got shows that would repeat quite a bit from much old. Like for example, when I had pay TV, we'd get things like Green Acres and stuff, and Addams Family, and all this sort of really old stuff. So like I did grow up seeing things like early Astro Boy, Kimber the Lion. Was it Kimber the Lion or Kimber the White Lion? Voltron, like early anime stuff. And like here in the year of our Lord and Savior 2022, we are so far removed from that when I see lists of like the best anime series, they tend to only really consider stuff from like the year 2000 onwards. And I think that's a real shame. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. And I'm not saying that there's no anime that have come out in the last 20 years that don't deserve to be on the list. There certainly is stuff that deserves to be on the list. But I think we've got a massive cultural blind spot here. And I don't blame this on people. Like if you as an individual, your top 10 anime doesn't include some of the things I'm going to talk about, that's fine. That's a personal thing. What really gives me the shits is when a professional journalistic body like IGN, journalistic, when they try to claim some sort of expertise in an area and they make these sort of prescriptive arguments about it. One of the main reasons I'm actually doing this video now, because originally I was like, it's a list, like, it's an opinion, right? If your opinion is that, Boku no Pico is in the top 25 anime of all time, fine. However, this is not just a list on opinion. Some of the caveats they make in this list actually allude to the fact that they're weighing things that I think are a little bit more objective that we can talk about. So let's have a look at IGN's top 25 best anime series of all time. Now, they've got a little video that goes through it. I'm not going to play it just in case of copyright, so we're just going to go through the text. We're going to zoom this in a little bit, and it's not because I'm blind, it's because you, the viewer, might be viewing this on a small screen. Aren't I thoughtful? See, accessibility for me is ease of use for you. So here we go. The rubric, right? So this is what I'm going to judge them on. I'm not just here to say your opinion's wrong, my opinion's right. We're here to judge their argument and determine whether or not they're making good arguments, because their list could be different from mine, but they might make compelling arguments. So picking just 25 lists for the best anime was really difficult. Sure. But our team of experts, the team of experts, I think the more you know about anime, the more you sort of realize that a team of experts for the best anime of all time is like a farce, right? Like it's a non-starter, whatever. We took several things into consideration when choosing our 25. Did the anime leave its mark on the culture in a meaningful way? That's a very good rubric to use. Did they influence the industry and the genre? Yeah, okay, I'll give them that. That's different, that the culture being like the people that are involved as consumers versus the industry. Yeah, fine. And of course, did we just like them? If that was all they said, we wouldn't be making this video, but that's not all they said. They said the first two things as well. So let's go. Read on or swipe through the slideshow for IGN's picks for the top 25. Best anime series. Let's go. We've got some spoilers here. We already have a bit of a problem in this image, but we'll wait till we get to it. Top 25 anime. All right. Haikyuu. I am not a sports anime watcher, so I'm not going to make specific claims on whether this show should or should not be here. As far as I can tell, this has been around for a reasonably long time. It has got a lot of staying power. So fine. Again, I'm going to claim ignorance on this one. We're going to move on. Good start to the video. I'm already saying I don't know this. Trigun. Trigun is a fantastic series, right? So I suppose this is kind of disproving when I sort of say that they focus on the 2000s. Plus, I think they do overall, but yeah, this was the late 90s. So this anime actually comes from the period of time when I was buying DVDs, right? So when I started watching anime, I would go down and I would buy VHS tapes. And the switch to DVDs was fantastic because it went from buying 2 to 3 episodes for $25 to buying 4 to maybe 6 episodes for the same price on DVD. Absolute boon. On top of that, we had the opportunity to spend $150 to get a full season of 13 episodes. And if we were really lucky, it would be a full season of 24 episodes. for $150. Amazing. Like, I mean, that's only 10 months of Crunchyroll. That would be enough Crunchyroll for me to see 3 entire seasons of currently airing anime, but I could get one whole season on DVD for that. Hey Rex, how's it going? But no, Trigun came out, and it was during the DVD era, I guess is what I'm saying. This show is fantastic. This is a classic, based purely on the fact that I remember quite little about it. I remember there was a tall girl in a cowboy hat, the short, cute girl with a bob haircut, and Trigun, Vash the Stampede was awesome. Lots of people cosplay him at the time, and they still do to this day. And something in his hand was like some deadly gun, right? That's all I remember. So I find it difficult to give it points for influencing the culture or the industry, because I don't think there was a lot of Trigun likes that came in after it. This to me is on the list purely on the fact that people in this team of experts like it. So I'm not sure it would make my top 25, and I'm not sure I would see it on a list of 25 most influential, most culturally relevant, highest quality anime. And it's not to shit on Trigun. Trigun's a fantastic show. It's a very short list for decades worth of anime. So yeah, this one meh out of 10 for being on this list. Wait, we're at number 23 on a list of 25 most influential, culturally relevant, and good anime, and we're at Dragon Ball Z. All right, My Hero. Okay, I've seen this list, right? So it's not like there's spoilers, but okay, we already have a problem when My Hero Academia is above Dragon Ball Z. Like, Dragon Ball Z, I mean, all right, what do they got to say about Dragon Ball Z? Dragon Ball Z was a gateway drug for many a young anime fan, and for good reason. The series isn't particularly deep. Like, what is that based on? Isn't particularly deep. Okay. Basically, it revolves around superhuman martial artist Goku. Well, he's not superhuman. He's alien. Settle down. Goku and his friends testing their might against an increasingly powerful and outlandish series of foes. But what the series lacks in terms of plot, it more than makes up for in humor, kooky characters, and incredible action. How can you not have fun with a martial arts fantasy where most of the characters are strong enough to shatter planets with their bare hands? The fact that they wrote an entire paragraph about Dragon Ball Z where they're judging the influence on culture and the industry, and their main focus is the story's not deep. Like, it's a battle anime. Like, Dragon Ball Z was all about going from tournament arc to tournament arc to tournament arc, right? Maybe not all literal tournaments, but most of them, or like a good amount of them, are literally tournaments. The martial arts tournament interludes the Cell games. Then there's another martial arts tournament at the start of the Buu saga. Dragon Ball Super has the Universe Survival tournament arc. Like, it's a show about battle anime. I think they're also doing a pretty big disservice to the story to divorce it from Dragon Ball. I think Dragon Ball Z are the same show. Particularly since Dragon Ball Z, I remember when I was a kid starting Dragon Ball Z, and it's kind of confusing at the start with when Raditz shows up, and there's all this discussion about Goku's actually an alien and stuff, and the Uzuru. So when Vegeta turns into the Great Ape, because all that's dealt with in Dragon Ball with Goku, but Dragon Ball Z, I feel like they're giving the story a bit of a bad rap as well, because Dragon Ball Z was the story of Gohan, right? The best knowledge that I sort of have on the subject, Dragon Ball Z originally intended to finish at the Frieza saga, but it was so popular that Akira Toriyama kept writing the series, which was fantastic. But at that decision to keep writing it, he also then intended to have Gohan step in and take the role of protector of Earth in like because Goku is getting old, right? Like Dragon Ball Z starts with Goku having a family, right? He's got Gohan, who I think is like 3 or 4 at the time, and like the transition from Frieza Saga to the Cell Game Saga was all about Gohan being like the most powerful, or having the most powerful potential out of all the Z fighters, even though he was only like 11 or 12 at the time. Really weird because like the video games refer to Gohan as Teen Gohan in the Cell games, but I'm pretty sure he's like 12. Anyway, doesn't matter. The idea that Gohan has this latent power and stuff was this big deal, fantastic. I fucking loved it. I lost my mind at the time watching it because, like, obviously I'm identifying more with Gohan, who's like, granted, a couple of years younger than me when I was watching this in high school. But like, I identified with him more than Goku, who's like a father and has a wife and a son and all that sort of stuff. Kind of lost my shit a little bit when Gohan got absolutely caned in the Buu Saga. Like, even though he got his ultimate Gohan form, he had stopped training, he was studying, he was being a nerd. Saiyaman was awesome. The Videl training was awesome. But, like, this is where I think some people miss the point of anime, is that they think that lack of the journey in a story, like going from place A to place B to place C, and focusing on characters growing, they think that's not a good plot or not a deep plot. I think Gohan's arc, the story of Gohan in Dragon Ball Z, is the story of Dragon Ball Z until they kind of fuck it up in the Buu Saga and Goku does the Spirit Bomb stuff. But like, if you look at Gohan's growth, I think that's quite a deep and moving story, particularly the Father-Son Kamehameha. The fact that it's at 23, come on. How do you have the daddy of shonen battle anime lower on the list than My Hero Academia? This show owes its DNA in every sense of the word to Dragon Ball Z, and you've got it here because it's new, presumably. I bet it's going to be because of the story. Super stories a dime a dozen. My Hero Academia offers a unique twist on the favorite genre by focusing on Izuki Midoriya, a hero who is born without powers. That's not that unique. Like, Marvel does this. Like, Marvel has Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Like, he's someone that has no powers in a world that was full of metahumans, right? Like, that might not have been the case in the early days of Spider-Man, but the current Marvel landscape is one that includes all these mythological, like the Eternals, the mutants. There's others. I'm not a big Marvel person, but I know enough about the Marvel universe to know that there's a shit ton of people that are born with power, gods like Thor and stuff, and they tell stories about humans overcoming these types of adversity. So that's not unique to My Hero Academia. Even if you can't, wait. Determined to save people regardless in a world full of folks with abilities. Let's not forget, Midoriya gets one for all pretty fucking quick. Even after he earns the quirk he's always dreamed of, My Hero Academia constantly finds a way to challenge Midoriya's traditional hero's journey by offering new twists. What's the twist? It's a straightforward, like it's a straight-laced hero story. Midoriya is an underdog, sure, but that's common. Not to mention Midoriya, like, it's not even unique in the fact that the hero in this shonen has a mystical, unknown inner power that they have to unlock through magical means, right? Like, One for All awakened in Midoriya. Now, I'm not up to date on the anime, right? Like, I intend to be up to date, and part of the reason I'm not is because I've been watching it with my wife, and part of the reason we're not currently up to date is because we've been watching One Piece, and One Piece is massive. I forget exactly where we're up to. We know about the fact that, okay, spoilers for some of these shows, guys. So if you're not up to date or you don't want to be spoiled, if you see a show that I'm talking about, just sort of skip through the video if you're not watching this live. Like, Midoriya's One for All is magically awakening in him because it's time. Anyway, I hate that. I don't hate that, but I think that's a weak characterization and a weak hero story when heroes have powers that they access magically, like Deus Ex Machina. Goku's the same, I'll be honest. Like Goku going Super Saiyan in the Frieza saga. Gohan getting Super Saiyan 2 just because Cell's stronger than him. Like, I know they explain it through, Saiyans get stronger. They evolve at a high rate, so when they get defeated, they come back stronger, and that theoretically is what allows them to unlock these higher forms. Although later on, you see things like Goten and Trunks accessing Super Saiyan when they're fucking 6 years old. Like, they always access a new transformation to deal with something in front of them. And Midoriya is the same, right? Midoriya is like, he sort of magically unlocks his ability to use One for All when it's convenient. I don't know. An ass pull, yeah. I'm sorry if I didn't put that back into the chat. My chat screen is weird. It happens in Bleach. It happens in Naruto. Naruto has Kuruma, whatever the fuck the Ninetales is called. Like, these characters, they coast on their ability to, like, just have a turn. Anyway, I'm going on. Made in Abyss. Haven't seen it. Not going to comment on it. We have another issue. We are at 20 out of 25, and JoJo is the 6th. Well, the 20th, I guess. The 20th anime. JoJo's Bizarre. There is literally a meme, right? If you want to talk about influence on the culture or influence on the industry, both of these are relevant. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure literally has the meme, everything is a JoJo reference, right? Everything is a JoJo reference. Let's Google everything is a JoJo reference. What's something that's not going to give me... Actually, let's use Know Your Meme. I just want stuff that's not going to give me copyright, because I know anime is a bit finicky like that. Is this a JoJo reference? Also known as Is That a JoJo Reference? Is a rhetorical question often used ironically by online commentators in response to pictures that include allusions to the manga and anime series JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It is literally fucking everywhere. Like, once you know to look for it, it becomes obscenely ridiculous how many things directly reference JoJo. Like, there are manga artists, there are anime artists in the industry today that are active, because JoJo is a long-running series. Like, there are people in the industry today that grew up on JoJo, whether it was the manga or the early anime, and that shit is in there. I mean, JoJo fans who will, like, look at Pokemon moves... Like, I'm willing to bet a lot of people on the internet have seen the I forget what the alliteration is for that, but like that's like meant to be the sinister vibes. That's how the mangaka wrote like the sinister aura coming off Dio, and it made it into the anime. And you see it all over the internet. You see it all over anime. It is absolutely ridiculous. The poses that you'll see around the place that are JoJo's. Like, just memes that are like, holy shit, is that a JoJo reference? Like, it's fucking amazing. And they're so abstract. Like, I've seen TikToks of like, is it a JoJo reference? And some of them get so abstract that I'll be like, no, I don't even know what you're talking about, bro. And I've seen them all. Like, it's fucking crazy. But like, to try and make an argument that they're like, oh, look, you know, we're doing a list of the 25 most influential anime and JoJo's 20. You are like, just go back and try again. Like, you delete what you've done so far and start from the start and reassess what you've put here. The manga's been around since 1987. It's almost as old as me. Like, seriously. And you, like, Netflix just put on Stone Ocean Part 2. Like, this is still relevant today. Like, it is mind-boggling that after over, what is it, like 35 years, and the series is relevant. The series is a current relevant anime and manga. Why would I buy this on Blu-ray? I can stream it all. Fuck you. I think it's weird that they say Naruto Shippuden and they don't say Naruto / Naruto Shippuden. I don't know why they split this like this. I don't know why they did it for the series. And I don't know why, like, when it comes to influential manga and anime, like, Naruto is Naruto Shippuden. Like, it is just the same thing. And, okay, whatever. 19. I'll be honest. I'm not the biggest Naruto fan. Having said that, it is the first, I think it was the first of the big three that I watched. So the big three, to be clear as well, are Bleach, One Piece, and Naruto. One Piece I first saw in, it would have been about 99, 2000, on Cheese TV at like 8:30 in the morning before school. And it was the 4Kids dub. It was the 4Kids dub of One Piece. So I didn't watch One Piece for years after that because the 4Kids dub just, this is ridiculous. He's made out of rubber, whatever. It wasn't until sort of the DVD time of anime, so in like 2002-ish, I think it was, that I found a site called NarutoFan.com. Now, despite it being called Naruto Fan, it was actually a website that you could directly download anime. You didn't stream it because back in those days, the internet wasn't fast enough for streaming. But you could download shows, and it would take roughly half an hour to download a 20-minute show. And one of the shows I came across was Naruto. I remember downloading it in 480p and then watching it, and like sort of that last sequence where was it the first sequence where he's like vandalizing the Hokage statues and stuff? And like I just binged the series. Absolutely, like I really enjoyed it. But having said that, I don't think it holds up. I don't think it's necessarily been influential in the industry. I think the current shows that we see take more from Dragon Ball and Bleach than they do from Naruto. Just because I think that's a tricky one, isn't it? I guess what I'm saying is Naruto can stay here. I'm not going to say someone's wrong based on what they were talking about earlier, in that they're looking at influential, culturally relevant, and stuff they enjoy. Naruto, fine. Yeah, I don't need to spend too much time on this. Death Note. Again, Death Note, I think Death Note's going to be fine. It is a unique story. It is still relevant. It is still in the zeitgeist of anime culture and weeb culture. I'm not sure it'll ever go away. You know, it's probably uncommon for more than a week or two to go by before I see some reference to either someone cosplaying one of the characters or someone doing a parody of Death Note or a reference in an because you do see references in anime of Death Note and stuff. So again, I'm going to give this, I think in this sort of teens, there's a lot of leeway for stuff to be here necessarily. Attack on Titan. I begrudgingly watch Attack on Titan. I think at this point, I'm beyond the point of no return in terms of like, well, fuck, I might as well watch the end of it. I am biased, so I probably don't have a fair opinion on Attack on Titan. And the bias that I have towards it is that they baited me last year with Attack on Titan, the final season. So I caught up on season 3? So I was ready to catch up on the final season 4, and was preparing myself to experience the climactic ending of this this series. I think it has pacing problems. I think the story is I think the shocks from some of the very visceral moments in the story are played too much for the shocks and not enough for sort of genuine emotional sort of interaction between the characters. But having said that, catching up to that motherfucker, I swore again, I said I wasn't going to swear as much as stream. Catching up to that motherfucker for the final season, was it the start of this year or late last year? For the final episode to be a cliffhanger for The final season, part 2, which starts next year, has soiled this series for me. I don't give a shit if they plan on releasing the Blu-ray as like a series, like season 4, episodes 1 to 26. If you air 13 episodes and then go a year until you air another 13 episodes, that is 2 seasons. Two seasons. Calling the first one the final season, get off this list. You abdicate any claim to being the best anime of all time. And I know that's a controversial opinion. I know people love this series. They think it's fucking fantastic. And I think that they're wrong. I think that they are basically being distracted by someone jangling keys, but the keys are characters dying, because people think characters dying makes a show good because it's edgy. No. There's anime that has killed off characters in better ways. The story is convoluted. I'm not going to spoil this one because I think, finding out how the story progresses is a big part of what makes it good. And just because I don't like the show doesn't mean I'm going to spoil it for others. So. We were in High School Host Club. Look at that. No waifus in that picture. Have not seen it. Moving on. Devilman Crybaby. Now, this is an interesting one. It flew under the radar when it came out. So this is a Netflix exclusive. So it's one of those shows, animes that went to Netflix. The circles I sort of roll in, I sort of get this sense that Netflix adaptations don't really get the same attention. Like if Devilman Crybaby was on Crunchyroll, I feel like there'd be more talk about it. But because it's on Netflix, it seems like people slept on it. I've seen part of the criticism of Netflix being that they do put out the entire season at once. So like it'll come out and maybe for a weekend everyone's binged it and we'll talk about it, but then that sort of fades from memory. It's the same way they handled JoJo Past 6, which has caused a lot of controversy. But Devilman Crybaby I think is really good. But because it hasn't left an impression, it hasn't influenced the culture, I don't think you can get on the list of 25 when you're only 2 out of the 3, right? And I think that it could be a great anime, but if it wasn't good enough to do culture or industry influence, then it doesn't deserve to be on here. I think it's worth watching. If you like stuff that is darker, this harkens back to anime from like the 80s and 90s. So if you ever came across things like, what's it called? Like, not Overlord. It harkens back to anime that's sort of this gritty, dark, dirty, grim sort of setting. So, like, despite the fact that, yes, characters are in high school, it's a lot more punch you in the guts sort of anime. And I actually don't know if it's based off any source material or if it's original. It is a complete story. So if you watch Devilman Crybaby on Netflix, when you finish watching Devilman Crybaby, you're done, right? It's not this sort of churn through to try and point you towards the light novels or the manga or something, which doesn't mean it's not based on a manga. Fine. Explicit depictions of sex, violence, and profanity. What's with profanity being it anyway? That seems very puritanical to me. 14, Demon Slayer. I'm going to give him a pass on Demon Slayer because I think 14, again, we're in that middle ground where people can be... I can give leeway to it. I think Demon Slayer will leave a mark on the industry. I think a lot of it is because it's being produced by Ufotable. I don't know how to pronounce it. Ufotable. The same people that did Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. So like the animation is amazing. Like the direction for the scenes are great. This guy is as annoying as shit. This guy is less annoying but still annoying. This guy is fine but broadly annoying. She is cool because she doesn't talk much. Cool, doesn't talk much. Fine. I literally, because of this little tard, I almost dropped the series. Because of him. Because he just screams and screams and screams and it annoys the shit out of me. Still, I think based on the quality and the fact that it is going to leave a cultural impact, fine, 14, whatever. Code Geass. I have not watched this, and I see it all the time. Based on how often I see Code Geass talked about, it feels like it should be higher. I don't know enough about it to push that point, but yeah, I feel like that should be higher, just because it always comes up as when people talk about anime. Samurai Champloo, get this out of here. No, not on the list. Sorry. Spoiler alert, the reason Samurai Champloo doesn't go on the list is because we've already got Cowboy Bebop, and they're the same fucking show, just set in different periods, right? This is literally Spike cosplaying as a fucking samurai. Code Geass is okay. The art is what put me off Code Geass. This is not a good example of why the art put me off it, but it had that sort of shoujo almost, really big round eyes, even on the some of the male characters that I've seen, and it just put me off. Like, it wasn't my cup of tea. I do want to see it. I do want to watch it. Yeah. Reiterating, Samurai Champloo, out. Bakano. This is another weird one. Seems fine. I've watched a couple of episodes of Bakano, and it didn't grab me enough. This is where I start to suspect that this list is for people that don't like anime, right? Like, this is like a sanitized version of anime. Like, Samurai Champloo is very accessible. My Hero Academia is very accessible. Demon Slayer is very accessible. Devil May Cry Baby, it doesn't follow that trend. Attack on Titan, very accessible. Death Note, very accessible. Naruto, very accessible. And I think that if you're doing a list of influence, it's like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is less accessible because it is so like unique in the way it presents itself and in the way that it deals with its characters and its story, particularly as you sort of develop through the later generations of JoJo's. Again, it's 16 episodes. I've seen like 2 or 3. The fact that it didn't grab me, it's not on my list, but I feel like it shouldn't be here. Fooly Cooly, this should definitely be here. Again, this is one I haven't seen, but it's one that I've seen discussed enough to understand that it has left a pretty significant influence behind. So that's fine. Yu Yu Hakusho, excellent, fantastic. Number 9. People that argue it should be higher, it's on the list. I'm okay with this one, right? We haven't got to what's made me angry yet. Right. Now we need to talk. Apparently, there are 7 anime series that have had a greater influence on the industry, on culture, and better than Neon Genesis Evangelion. I'm sorry, what? What's 7 shows? I cannot think of 7 shows that have had more influence than Neon Genesis Evangelion, right? Let's just talk about culture. Neon Genesis Evangelion, when it came out, I was in grade 10, I think. I was in high school. And we were talking about Neon Genesis Evangelion in the school, right? Now, let me be very clear. In the 90s, anime was almost unknown. People knew Dragon Ball Z, but they didn't go, hey, that's a cool anime. They go, that's Dragon Ball Z. That's one of those Japanese cartoons. I was in the position where I was like, holy shit, like I'm going to watch the adults only time slot at 9:30 when they're showing Ghost in the Shell, when they're showing Ninja Scroll, when they're showing, I know this is not an anime, but Aeon Flux and stuff. Like I was watching these very adult animation shows that were sort of in that sort of format. And the fact that Neon Genesis Evangelion pierced that Saturday morning anime conception that people had when they just sort of thought about Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon, and people were getting hyped up about it, to me is just insane. The fact that it made it to that point. Now, Neon Genesis Evangelion not only did that at its time of release, but it has literally never been outside of the cultural marketplace, literally and figuratively, in all those years. there has been no time when I've gone to Japan where I couldn't go and get a fucking Evangelion figure out of a UFO prize grabber in arcades. That I wouldn't walk into a store where like a disproportionate amount of like merchandise was based on like Nerve and Evangelion theming and stuff. The fact that they have gone and done rebuilds to retell the story as well and to try and fix some of the issues that they had. Like Evangelion is a behemoth in anime, and it is number 8. There's one show I would put above Neon Genesis Evangelion at the moment, and I don't give a shit if you think it's because I'm biased. I think objectively, One Piece has a greater cultural impact and will have a higher level of impact on the industry. And part of that is like One Piece literally just has over 1,000 episodes and is still going. So, I mean, it's just facts. It's just objectively. But I can't think of anything besides One Piece that I would argue for to be above Neon Genesis Evangelion. This is solid top 2, maybe 3 territory. Maybe you could make an argument for Dragon Ball as a franchise, maybe. But number 8, come on, number 8. Like, no, I'm sorry, Evangelion. I think this is what made me really angry. It's like the closeness to which some of these shows are, where like if you see Hunter x Hunter next to Evangelion and Evangelion is lower on the list, like that's alarm bells, right? It's the same way we saw Dragon Ball Z right next to My Hero Academia. Where was it? I shouldn't have scrolled back up. Like going from Dragon Ball Z to My Hero Academia, like warning signs. And I mean, coming back and going, oh, Demon Slayer's above Dragon Ball, bullshit. Samurai Champloo above Dragon Ball, bullshit. Bakano, bullshit. Anyway, Hunter x Hunter, fine. It is what it is. I understand why it's popular. I may be a bit light on Hunter x Hunter. I know it's meant to be said Hunter x Hunter, but fuck off. My problem with it is I know it's never going to be finished. Right? The author, bless him, I know he's got health issues, and I don't want him to finish it at the expense of his health. And based on that, it's not going to get finished. Like the guy's married to the mangaka for Sailor Moon. For the love of God, get your wife to draw it. Like, tell her the story and let her draw it. Like, I don't give it. Like, if Gon turns into a fucking magical girl, fine. I'm sure the show will still be good. I know why people like it, in that it does do a decent job of, I guess, refreshing the shonen battle tropes, and like it makes the powers a bit more intricate and a bit more thoughtful in the way they get used, as opposed to it just being raw power. Like Dragon Ball is raw power. Like, oh, your power level is over 9,000, you win. Hunter x Hunter, it's like, okay, who can use their power in the most ingenious way? That's, I think, why it's higher on the list. But the problem is the only reason Hunter x Hunter goes there is because of Dragon Ball Z coming first. So, Hunter x Hunter, it should not be here in relation to Dragon Ball Z. Mob Psycho 100 is a weird one. It's a fun show. But is it influential? Like, great. The year Mob Psycho came out, anime of the year, fine. But most influential and biggest influence on the industry, I don't know what it's doing here. I just don't know. And again, I haven't seen it enough. But again, it's above Evangelion. It's above Dragon Ball Z. I hate to sound like I'm just bitching about old anime that isn't getting enough respect, but they're the ones that made the rules for the list. They said cultural impact, and they said impact on the industry, and they said, and we like it. You can't give that as this is how we're going to decide the top 25 anime, and then put Mob Psycho above like the heaviest hitters in anime. Hajime no Ippo, haven't seen it. Apparently it's rocky. Again, I don't know. It's in relation to everything else. Why is it here? Like this is like 20 list, like this is like 20 to 25 part of the list. Like put all your shit that I don't know in like the late teens, the 20s of the list, and I have less of a problem. Monster. It's another weird one. Like, again, this feels like the first half of the list, not the top half of the list. Monster is refreshingly grounded in reality. I mean, that's I'm not saying an anime can't be great and be grounded in reality, but like the medium is for excess. The medium of anime, I think, is the best when it is at its most fantastical. Which brings me to One Piece. One Piece number 3. If above One Piece was Dragon Ball or Neon Genesis Evangelion, I would chalk that down to a difference of opinion. And I've remembered what's at number 2 and number 1. One Piece is 1,000 episodes long. I think chapter 1060 of the manga released on Sunday. One Piece has a world. There are side characters in One Piece that have better stories, that have more screen time, that have more depth than characters like Gon in Hunter x Hunter, like Tanjiro in Demon Slayer, like Midoriya in My Hero Academia. There are characters that are better. There are villains, like there are. I hate to use the word villains in One Piece sometimes. There are some people that are just downright villains, but the other strength in One Piece is that there are characters that are playing the role of antagonists, not because they are bad or evil or they want to do things that are objectively wrong, but because they have a goal that runs against the Straw Hats, and that has to be, sorted out in the mix of the story. There are very few shows I would allow above One Piece. And I have the blessing of being in a position where I saw Naruto first, I saw Bleach first, I saw Dragon Ball Z first, I saw Full Metal Alchemist first. I didn't start watching... When did I start watching One Piece, right? I first went to Japan, I think in 2006. I had not started watching One Piece at that point. I think by the time Let's have a look. No, it would have been... I think the first time I caught up in One Piece was as the time skip was happening. So that would tell me roughly when I was watching it. Time skip. Be gone, ads. You gonna tell me when? Episode 517. Shush. I hate how that skips you around. 2011, right. So 2011 was about the time I was catching up on One Piece. So I've been watching One Piece for at least 11 years. Probably 12, because I imagine it would have taken me a year at least to get through 500 episodes. Maybe even 2 years. Actually, I binged pretty badly, I'll be honest, so maybe not. But like, I'd seen a lot of anime up to there, so I feel like this is not me preferencing my firstborn child. This is the opposite. This is me having seen all the best shows, and having them be the nostalgic things I would think back on. Like Dragon Ball is my nostalgia. Full Metal Alchemist has a level of nostalgia for me because, again, that's that very early time in anime for me. Cowboy Bebop, again, another series that I was collecting the DVDs of. And I'm sorry, One Piece, no diff. Like, beats them. Hands down beats them. And I think this is where I just vomited, because Cowboy Bebop apparently Cowboy Bebop has more cultural influence, has more industry influence, and has a better story than One Piece. I'm sorry, Arlong Park, the story of how Nami joins the Straw Hats from the fucking, year 1999 to 2000, is better than the Cowboy Bebop story. Cowboy Bebop is fantastic anime, right? But Cowboy Bebop comes from a time when shows were still episodic. I say shows, I mean One Piece was kind of episodic but still broke out into these big, broad storylines that were told week after week. But Cowboy Bebop was 24 episodes. Was it 24 episodes? It was 24 episodes that each week was a villain of the week, a conflict of the week that was generally resolved. I think there might be one or two-parters in there, but every episode, start, middle, end, move on to the next bounty, move on to the next planet. You know, we get the next show where we're talking about truckers in space, and it's going to be about blues. Or not about, but like the music, which again is fantastic. Tank still makes it onto my playlists to this day, the opening theme of Cowboy Bebop. It is not number 2. It is not above One Piece. It is not above Dragon Ball. It's not above Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's probably top 10. I'm not going to lie. Like it is up there. Cowboy Bebop, we do still see things. There's that Netflix adaptation, the live action, which I saw, I think 10 minutes or before I shut off because Spike was not Spike. But yeah, Cowboy Bebop, no. And here we get to the coping. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and this is the quintessential. This list was made for people that don't like anime unless it appeals directly to their Western sensibilities. Full Metal Alchemist as a series is good. It's great. Again, this is something else that probably deserves to be potentially in the top 10. It still has some relevance. There's a mobile game coming out shortly. I think it's in closed beta in Japan, maybe. Or did it come out yet? I'm not sure. I'm not really following the game because I'm not really going to play a Full Metal Alchemist mobile game, to be honest. But it is just a battle shonen. It has some better story than some of the others, I guess. But number 1, come on. We're talking about actual influence in the industry, and it does have it, but I mean, it's competing against One Piece. It's competing against, like, even Naruto. I think Naruto should be above Full Metal Alchemist. The struggle of most anime is laying out intricate world building while balancing a cast of memorable characters. One Piece does that better. Naruto does the cast better, maybe not the world building. Bleach does it better. Like, there's a reason why the big 3 were the big 3, because of their influence. And so, like, finding these other adventure animes and going, oh, well, I think they're better than the big 3, you got a lot of work to do to convince me of that. The framing device for our entry into the sprawling world is one of sympathy. We understand why the Elric brothers would practice forbidden alchemy in an attempt to resurrect their dead mother at the cost of their physical bodies. They didn't know that during the resurrection it was going to be at the cost of their bodies. That was part of their misunderstanding, and the fact that I'm going to spoil Full Metal Alchemist. What they're talking about there, in that they did it to resurrect their mother at the cost of their physical bodies. What the Elric brothers did was they broke down the human body to its constituent parts. Like, there's sort of that famous line in the anime and the manga where Edward Elric is reciting, like, all the things that make up a human body, like calcium, carbonate, ammonia, salts, blah, 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 blah. Like, he lists it out. He's got it all written down. Because when they go to do the alchemy, like, the whole role of alchemy in this world is that it is equivalent exchange. So if you want to make a toaster, you need to, in exchange, provide the materials at the same rate required to make a toaster. Like, you can't use alchemy to make things come out of nothing. So like magic and other anime and stuff, it's just magic. We just do whatever and whatever happens. Full Metal Alchemist had that really interesting idea that, you know, when you perform alchemy, you need to like provide ingredients for that alchemy. So if someone can make a rock wall, that rock wall has to come from somewhere. So they sort of use that, I guess, to balance alchemy a little bit. Forbidden alchemy, like resurrection, it was forbidden because, and this is what the Elric brothers didn't understand, equivalent exchange for the body is one thing, but equivalent exchange for the soul. What could a person's life or soul be worth? Like, at what point could you give something that was worth your mother's soul? And the idea is you can't, and that's why the Elric brothers, when they try to perform the resurrection, Edward loses an arm and a leg. Oh, I'd pay an arm and a leg for my mother. And Alphonse Elric loses his entire body. I think Elric, Ed. I think Ed actually sacrifices either his arm and a leg or his leg. Part of what Edward loses was in exchange for binding his brother's soul to the body of suit of armor that was nearby, because otherwise he was just going to lose his brother, because like there is nothing that is equivalent of a soul. And that's really interesting. It's really compelling. That's a very deep story and a deep theme to sort of explore throughout the series, and that's one of the major themes of it. And yet, despite divine intervention slapping in their face telling them no, they continue on their quest. Okay. I'm going to out myself. I've only seen part of Brotherhood. I saw the original, so Fullmetal Alchemist came out before the manga was finished. And I think the last 6 episodes of the original Fullmetal Alchemist deviate from the manga because no one knew the end. It's like Game of Thrones, right? Game of Thrones, the TV series, is not the same story that's going to happen in this story. In the original TV series, they're not trying to resurrect their dead mother still. Their quest is to restore their bodies. Is that not the same in Brotherhood? I can't imagine they'd make that... I can't imagine that Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood would deviate to the point where they are trying to resurrect their mother, because like it wasn't the whole point of the series that Ed and Alphonse realized that they mean so much to each other that it wasn't worth risking their lives, that they might lose each other in their quest? That's a question. In full... Ignore the spelling mistakes because Google will figure it out. I'm sure they're not. Fuck you, small text. You know what? Fuck it. No, I'm going with what I said. They are wrong about what the show is about. Like, they literally don't know what they're talking about. Should I watch the 52 episodes just to prove that? Wait, let's finish the paragraph in case they're corrected. That quest to resurrect praise the name for motivation that guides them through the world of monsters, government, conspiracy, and divinity. Monsters is weird. Technically, they should be using the word chimera. Brother. And despite all this elegance, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood also knows when to lay it or bear in unforgettable moments that will leave you standing in front of your TV cheering for the Elric brothers. What did it say about One Piece? For almost 20 years, One Piece continues to entertain audience worldwide with more than 1,000 episodes. Going as long as the series has been with its pirate journey, it can be tough for anyone to keep up with, fans both new and old. It can be tough for any anime to keep up with... Wait, what does that mean? It can be tough for any anime to keep up with fans, both new and old. What does it mean for it to appeal to new fans while still appealing to old fans? One Piece managed to do that with an amazing mix of the amazing mind of Ichiro Oda. The world building, the deep characters, the hilarious adventure. I mean, the show is hilarious. And the amazing adaptation that sometimes beats out the manga, catapults the series to the top of shonen anime history. But it's not at the top of your list. I know it's not a shonen, like it's not a shonen list, but still. It is through Oda's vision that the series has such a lasting impact on viewers throughout the years and doesn't look to be slowing down anytime soon. Wait. Cowboy Bebop has had an indelible impact that reaches far beyond anime. Oh, it's 26 episodes. My bad. Yeah, so bad list. Terrible list. I'm not convinced that should be on it. I'm not convinced, although Rex, you say it was popular where you are, so maybe I'm wrong on that. Not convinced that should be on it. Hunter x Hunter, yes, that should be definitely higher. That's fine. That's fine. That shouldn't be on the list. Fuck that off out of the list. Fine. I'm 50-50 on whether this should be on the list. I feel like it should be this or My Hero. Not both. This shouldn't be on the list. I don't know enough about that. Fine, Attack on Titan, yeah, it's going to be there. This should be higher. That should be higher. That should be higher. Don't know enough about that. Whatever. Way higher. I love this show. Shouldn't be on the list. I mean, there's a sports anime as well. Where's Sailor Moon, by the way? Where's Madoka Magica? Now, they haven't explicitly said this is for TV shows, have they? Because this is the other thing that's interesting. That I don't know if they say, oh, this is the best TV shows. 25 titles to the list of best anime is really difficult, but our team... Yeah, they don't say TV. Best anime series? Can a series only be a TV show? I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, because if I don't give them the benefit of the doubt, then they're missing Akira, they're missing Ninja Scroll, they're missing Ghost in the Shell. Arguably, Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, the various seasons of that. I mean, that alone could beat Trigun out. The other thing that's interesting, I don't think any of these are romantic comedies, are they? That's a sports anime. That's a battle shonen. That's a battle shonen. That's a battle shonen. Made in Abyss. I actually don't know what that is. Gut-wrenching story. Okay, so it looks like that's not a romance. Comedy romance. This isn't a survey, by the way. This is a team of experts picking and like using their expertise to craft a list of 25. If this was a survey, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, surveys every time. If you did a survey of best anime in a given year, it's going to change based on what people are feeling in the moment. Like I understand that, like, you know, right now, if you did a survey, people are thinking about Attack on Titan, right? They're thinking about Demon Slayer. They're thinking about, I mean, shows that aren't on this list, I guess. Oh wait, is this? Oh, okay. This is their favorite anime. So these are the experts, right? So Kill la Kill. I think Kill la Kill definitely could have replaced a few of the shows on this list. Kill la Kill. I need to finish it. I think it's great. One of those shows that I haven't finished. I get to like 80% of an anime finished a lot of the time, and then I won't finish it because I just don't want it to be over. One of my most toxic traits. I don't know if anyone else does that, but like for me, crazy. Monster. These are their personal favorites, so that's fine. I can't shit on anyone for having a favorite, but like these are the experts. Space Dandy is such a weird favorite anime to have. Like, so weird. Like, no shade, but it is fucking weird. Maybe it was just a vote between these people. Although it's weird that this is this person's favorite. Like, Kill la Kill is this person's favorite, and it's the only one. Or this and Space Dandy are not on the list. Kill the Kill could make it, but yeah, Space Dandy definitely not. JoJo, technically it's a battle shonen. Naruto, battle shonen. Death Note, drama, psychological thriller. Attack on Titan, battle shonen. At least there's one female-focused show. I mean, great guys, like, you know, the entire anime industry, and we'll chuck in one for the ladies. Crybaby, it's like a horror thriller. Battle shonen. Code Geass, is that a battle shonen? Like, it's battle-y, right? Yeah. Samurai Champloo, battle shonen. Back in a adventure, yeah, fine. Fooly Cooly, it's kind of hard to put that in a category. Yu Yu Hakusho, battle shonen. Neon Genesis Evangelion, mecha. Like, there's no Gundam in here. There's no Macross in here. Like, you know, they're contenders. Hunter x Hunter, battle shonen. Mob Psycho, it's kind of a battle shonen. It's just that the power is like Akira-style psychological power. Hajime no Ippo, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's a battle shonen since it's about a boxer training. Monster, psychological thriller. One Piece, battle shonen. Cowboy Bebop. I could be cynical and call it a battle shonen, but let's call it a adventure drama or whatever. Fullmetal Alchemist, battle shonen. Where is the harems? Where is the romantic comedies? Where is something like Ranma 1/2, which is like half battle shonen, half romantic comedy? Where is Armor Goddess? Where is Love Hina? Where is Golden Time? Let's be perfectly honest, right? It is the year of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, 2022. And I feel like you cannot have a list of the most influential anime and not have an isekai, right? Whether you love or hate isekai anime, you need to represent the fact that it has had a massive impact on the industry. And it's not like there aren't good ones out there to pick from. Like, if you want to pick a great isekai anime, you could pick something like Sword Art Online. And yeah, everyone likes to sort of go on about how shit it gets in season 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Or like the first half of season 1's great, the second half's bad. But Sword Art Online had a massive influence. Massive influence. Like, how many seasons are there? Plus there's spin-offs. Like, I feel like you're going to have some stuff like Monster. You're going to have Samurai Champloo, and you're not going to have Sword Art Online. Or you could put... what's the slime isekai's called? I got reincarnated as a slime. Again, Dr. Stone. That can go in there instead of some of these shows. That's just me trying to channel. It's not just me going, old anime is where it's at. Like, you're just not showing the full depth of what the genre has to offer. And I think a top 25 list, it does need more genres to be included. Pokemon's not on the list. Like, holy shit, how's Pokemon not on the list? Are you fucking kidding me? Pokemon's been going for fucking ever too. It's been going longer than One Piece, hasn't it? It just doesn't have as many episodes because they have breaks between their fucking seasons. But like, everyone loves fucking Pokemon. Like, holy shit. Pokemon, Sailor Moon, fucking... Man, my swearing really came back out. I even said I was going to try and swear less. I even got my fucking One Piece Film Red shirt on. Like, holy shit, they just had a massive release at the theaters, and they're number 3. There's no hentai in here? Like, where's Monster Musume? Where's Interspecies Reviewers? Oh, wait. Honorable mentions. There's honorable mentions. Oh, my God. Someone mentioned... Okay, I wish... the team put their name on here so I could give credit to whoever mentioned Ranma 1/2. Ranma 1/2 is like the first anime that I sort of watched. Like, before Ranma 1/2, it wasn't the first anime. Before Ranma 1/2, I sort of collected random stuff from the store that I'd see, right? I'd take my allowance every 2 weeks when I had $20 to buy like a VHS tape. And I was buying stuff like Bubblegum Crisis, Macross Plus, Street Fighter Victory. What was the other one? The Guyver Bio Booster Armor. All that stuff. Fantastic. Loved it. Ranma 1/2 was something that I actually had to go and look for because there's these, you still see them in shopping malls here in Australia, where like you'll have these places that are selling like DVDs for like $5, like, and there'll always be these slightly off-brand, eclectic things, never anything that's like mainstream. And I would stop and look at these sometimes, and I'd see anime there. And I bought the OAV's original video animation, or original animated video, for Ranma 1/2, and it was like the I think it was the Christmas special and the vacation special, I think it was. Or was it the movies? Technically outside of the normal canon, but like really well animated and stuff. And like I loved it. Like, it was this sort of wacky romantic comedy that sort of had some martial arts goofiness mixed in. Like it's a sort of show where like one of the characters is a martial arts cook, and she's like, her weapon is like one of the spatulas they use when they're cooking okonomiyaki, but it's like the size of a shovel. Or like one of the early arcs was like martial arts gymnastics. And like that was a show that I loved what I saw. And when I found out there was like 152 episodes, and the only way I could find it was to buy it on eBay and get like this big fold out sort of thing of like 6 DVDs or something ridiculous. Or was it 12? Some ridiculous amount of DVDs. And I'm pretty sure it was bootlegged. They weren't official releases. And it only worked properly on some DVDs at the time because it was still PAL versus NTSC. So it was still possible to have a TV that just did PAL. So it would be black and white. It wouldn't come in proper color. But like the series was fantastic. And like, I remember that like it was done by, where's Inuyasha? Where is Inuyasha? Like that's got to be on the list too. Same author as Ranma 1/2, Rumiko Takahashi. And yeah, Ranma 1/2, it inspired so many of the romantic comedy tropes and the harem tropes that we get in anime, even to this day. Like the trope of like the main character who's, you know, got all these girls after them. From what I can tell, Ranma 1/2 was the first show to popularize that. May not have been the first show to have it, but it was the first show that did it in such a way that it became sort of this mainstream joke. God, it's such a good show. And I still remember things like A Day Without Sunshine is... Oh, what is it? A Day Without Sunshine... No. Sukiyaki Without Noodles is like A Day Without Sunshine. Or A Ranma Without Izakane. And the dub in that show was amazing. Like, I actually... Like, I was watching... Because back then, right, when you've got VHS tapes especially, you're not watching sub. You're watching dub. Because that's how it's being released. And, you know, VHS tape, it don't have audio tracks. It's got what it's got. And Ranma 1/2, so I grew up watching it on dub, and it is phenomenal. Like, to me, Ranma 1/2's dub is like indistinguishable from like a professional animated film in terms of its overall quality. Like, it, especially in those 90s and 2000s, dubs were very, very hit and miss, and a lot of the times missing. But like it was up, like Dragon Ball's dub was pretty good too. And Ranma 1/2, you know, English is the way to go for me. I've got it on my Plex actually. I should watch some tonight. So Ranma 1/2, good. Kill la Kill's on there. Sailor Moon. I can't believe someone thought about it and they didn't go on there. Steins Gate, nah. Jujutsu Kaisen, I mean, if you've got Samurai Champloo, if you've got Baccano, if you've got Attack on Titan, if you've got My Hero, if you've got Demon Slayer, I mean, yeah, it makes sense you'd think about Jujutsu Kaisen. Personally, I think it's my favorite of the new ones. I like the characters in it a lot. I like the animation a lot. I like the style. It's kind of Bleach 2.0. And we haven't even talked about Bleach. Bleach. Where is Bleach? Why is Bleach not on here? Huh? Bleach could replace a lot of these shows. Pretty much any show, like Bleach, easy. Bleach, easy. I think Bleach beats Hunter x Hunter. Mob Psycho, I think Bleach beats it. I think... I'm sorry. The Bleach is worldwide. This show, as far as I can tell, is not worldwide. Bleach... Yeah, not Bleach. Maybe not replaced, but hot. Anyway, I'm rambling. Okay, my stream is working. I guess that was the main thing I was checking tonight. I definitely don't have time to go over that other video I was going to go over, so we might call it there for now. on YouTube, I'm looking at doing some debate review stuff. We'll see how that goes. I was going to do one tonight. I thought it was like a 20-minute video, but I loaded it up and it's a 1-hour video. So between me pausing and rambling and stuff, it's going to end up being a longer stream. So we'll try and fit that in maybe sometime this weekend. I've not reactivated, but I've gotten my password sorted for Twitch. I had issues with Twitch in that I wasn't getting my 2-factor verification. And I was a little bit worried that my account had been hacked. Seemed to just work tonight. So I'm back on that as well. I'm probably going to shift my streams a little bit later because I'm having trouble sticking to a 7:30 start just with getting dinner done and stuff, because my wife is sort of working until about 6 p.m. these days, and by the time we have dinner and stuff, 7:30 is a bit ambitious if I'm still going to spend some time with her. But I have started working from home on Fridays, which means Thursday nights I can stay up a little bit later, I think. So, but yeah, I might leave it there for tonight. Thank you for jumping in, Rex. Thank you for the others that have dropped in. Sorry I don't call people out directly when they come in, because I do try to keep these editable, downable to stuff. We'll see if I can be bothered, but yeah. Anyway, peace. Have a good Thursday, and I'll see you next time.